Hey, everybody, it's Steve again. Yeah, another video, but I got some comments, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on them, and then everybody knows exactly where I'm coming from. Um, uh, I'm not care. I don't care if they're negative or whatever. But anyway, I want to address the topics that have been brought up. One, I don't like to mention names because I don't want to do something bad or mention their name or talk bad about them or whatever. I don't want to do that. So I just comment on some of the comments I've made and some of the stuff that I got. Well, the main one I got back was, stop dotting I's and crossing the T's, about all these codes and all these things or whatever, that it's not doing any good to the city. These codes that are, are overboard or whatever, or it's too much, for us to go by codes and stuff like that. Well, let me first want to tell you, those codes are not just codes. If you look them up, they'll actually tell you, it pretty much directs you in the United States Constitution and also the Texas Constitution on what a city can and cannot do, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So those codes that you refer to are actually laws that our city council and our city members or our city echelon have to follow to lead the town. It is built into where people are supposed to have to say so in their government. This is what these codes are. I challenge you to look at all these codes and find out what the heck it's talking about and look and see, hey, are we doing that or we're not doing that? But actually look at the code that you speak of. Because it is not just a code that says, I don't know what that is. There's somewhere you can look it up and you find out the code and you'd be like, oh, are we doing that? We can't do that. Oh, we don't. No, we can't do that either. It's a checks and balances on city council and the people who actually run the city. Because our job, okay, is to make sure they do their job. I had so many people, why don't you run for city council? I ain't running for no city council, don't want to, because my job is to make sure they're doing their job. And that should be your job too. I believe I read that somewhere in the Constitution or somewhere in the Texas Constitution too. I don't know, but I read it there. Look it up. I got a Constitution and I got a Texas Constitution sitting right over there, and they mean something. What means the laws? That means everybody has to go by the law. Know who you are, or nothing, where your family come from, nowhere, how you want to run that town. It is determined how you can run this town by the law. Now, for those of those that want to say, well, they're doing the best they can, or they're doing what best they can with what they got. I've heard this. Okay, this is getting to be like a broken record. Anything that the public comes out and says, "Well, we ain't got no money," or "We're waiting on a grant," or the last one, when Whataburger gets here, we're gonna solve all our problems. Okay, that's another burger joint here in Huntington. We need one of those though. Another place to go get a burger, and we've already got two. You know, so it's like maybe you want to spread it out a little bit. But they're saying that's going to change because they're going to take up everything the city council's looking at. It is the fact that we're going to make taxes off of that. Okay, it's going to increase our income, but per that contract you got there, then there's got to be so much business in the business module allowing Water King to make X amount of dollars. They've come out and said they're going to hire X amount of people from Huntington, um, and they should be making some kind of X amount of dollars from the city of Huntington to perpetuate their business. There's not going to be too many people coming from Lufkin down to Whataburger down here when they got up there. I don't know how many they got up there, but they got Whataburgers up there. So I don't know if everybody's going to make a drive to Lufkin come down to get a Whataburger. And I don't know, maybe Zavala, they'll be getting a Whataburger coming through or whatever. That's not the issue because we already have issues of people not wanting to come through here because of the town. I mean, it's miserable. Okay, I've got it documented. It's miserable. Okay, we got to work on that first. Not having a miserable town for people to stop. our the economic department, okay, was mentioned. You know how what a job they do. Okay, well I don't look at that well done the job they do because after listening to them, you know their hands are tied because the fact is that we don't have no land on 69 where everybody wants to build and ain't nobody ready to settle and sell. We got buildings out here on 69 that I don't even know what they're for. They've been for 5 years I've been here and they have been vacant the whole time. Right in here by the bank, there's one. Then there's a substance on the back or whatever. I think there's one office there and they got a whole big thing back there. What the heck we doing with that? That's prime real estate right there. Who owns that? And you go on down the road down there a little bit, there's you know, you got the food store, and then you go down a little bit further, and then there's a dead burner. I don't know what that is. It ain't been open in 3 years. And when I seen it open one time, I turned around and go back and see what he had in there, and he already had it closed. So what benefit is he to the community? Now everybody's going to come back and say, well, he's had that thing for 65 years, you know, it's in or 70 years, and it's his, and you know, he can do whatever. But there's got to be some kind of way that we can actually talk to this individual and say, look, you know, whatever you have to do, we need to have this business, and it has to be open. It has to be open a certain many days a week or a certain many hours, just to keep up the economic outlook on Huntington. I mean, I don't know how much money he'd draw in there or whatever, but anything he's drawing right now would be better. But he's paying his taxes or whatever. But the only problem with that is that if it's considered in a commercial zone, then guess what? You got a little issue there. Because if it's in a commercial zone and you need to be deriving income from it, and if you're not deriving income, then city can ask you to move out, especially when they need land. You know, but that's kind of a hard thing to say to so many people, you know, whatever. But I'm just letting you know that hey, if the environmental department, if they need land, I mean, we need to start looking at land. I mean, I'm not on 69. Ain't nobody come over and ask me if I want to sell my place. Well, you know, I don't think nobody wants to come down this road down here and sell the place. So yeah, our environmental department, they got their hands tied because they get the same answer. We ain't got no money. We're waiting on a grant. We can't do that. So this is the type of thing that I want to say to individuals who say, well, you know, we're doing the best we can. Okay. Let me put this to you in another way. You may be doing the best you can, and you may be happy living mediocre and living the best you can. Okay, you may be living that, but unfortunately, there are a lot of individuals here that want to get better. They want to live better than the best you can. They want to be better than we're doing the best we can. Okay, to do the best to put up that argument. Okay, we're doing the best we can, and we need to prop these people up because they're doing the best they can, and all this, all this, well, they're doing the best they can. They're, with what they've got, and we love them because, yeah, I know you love them because they're doing everything you want them to do. And that's the elites talking here because the fact is they don't want no change at all because I'll tell you this right now, any change that would come through would affect the elite, and they don't want that. We got people right now living in places, you know what, they don't even want the county or the city or nothing. You touch their land. Y'all gonna make it worse. Example, right up here on 69, they've been doing that darn work up there. I don't know how many darn gas leaks and how many dead burn water leaks we had up there, and that's what kind of work we should. That's what we should expect, I guess, because of the contractor, and that's the best we could do. You know, I'm tired of people accepting mediocrity, being mediocre. I want people to strive for something else that's different. And you can't get no better if you're sitting on the couch and just and not doing anything. You shouldn't have to read me your resume, okay, on the ways that you've actually produced to this city or what you've done for this city. I shouldn't. You shouldn't have to feel like that you owe me anything about telling me what you do or whatever. The conversation wasn't even really about you. Well, I volunteered, I volunteered, I volunteered for the Christmas, I volunteered for the softball, but I whatever. When the next thing about it is the only really thing that you really cared about was, hey, we have a meeting for the baseball lights. We make a lot of money there, boy. Yeah. That's one of our major problems right there. We got lights for the baseball field. That's a major problem. We can't drive down our roads, but we got lights for a baseball field. Can't go outside and take a breath without smelling sewer or smelling gas or both in on. But we got a baseball field and we can turn the lights on when we want to turn them on, turn them off. So my issue is the fact is that I'm not getting down. I'm not getting down, or I'm not trying to bring down the city government or the city council or anybody. I'm just trying to quote out ways you can do your job, which is legal. Because if someone doesn't point it out to you and you don't look it up, you aren't going to get a lawsuit. And I'm trying to tell you guys that's coming a mile away. I can see it coming, and I'm telling you, you can't continue to do business this way, or it's going to end up hurting Huntington. And there won't be no more Huntington no more. Doing the best you can is not going to be an answer for the state of Texas. Doing the best you can is not going to get you out of any federal wrongdoing. Doing the best you can is not going to keep the feds and the state representatives from coming down on you city council members individually. And that's the issue we got to look at. How far are we down to the fact we're down to that point where we need to make a decision, and we need to go before that happens, because we've been doing nothing for a while. It's going on the way everything's going on, whatever, except in whatever, kicking the cans down the road. The road's been kicked down the road. We don't even have no more road to kick down the road, because the road, you can't even kick the can down the road. And then they say, well, we got $100,000 grant. Okay, the public has to have a say so on which roads are going to be fixed first. That's not a decision just the city council can make. So anybody that has to come to me and give me their resume saying what they accept is just somebody to try to do their job. They're just trying to do their job. They're good people, and I'm not talking about if they're good people or not. That's not what the issue is. The issue is are they doing their job? And if they're not, why aren't they doing their job? Do they have the proper training to do their job? Do they have the proper procedures that they can do their job per the state of Texas and per the United States of America? Now, for some, I don't understand when individuals, such as on my page, I don't understand when we decided that it's okay because that law don't pertain to us. We don't have to follow that law. Rules of order and parliamentary procedure, no, we don't have to do that because it's a point. No, we're just going to do the best we can and pray for them and have them do the best that they can. Well, how far's that got? So it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, you can look at it from beer goggles, or you can look at it the way the real deal is. I don't know how you look at it, but if you send me your resume telling me how good you are, and tell me all you've done, and tell me all this or whatever, I look at it and say, great. First thing I say is, what have you done lately? Done anything lately? Have you done anything to the town without having involved your kids to go? Because you got to go anyway. Have you went out gone out of your way for somebody else's kids? So I don't really believe that you producing a resume, or anybody producing a resume that shows what you've done in the past, is really relevant right now. That really don't make no difference. What makes difference is the fact is, what have you done lately, and what are you planning to do? to make it better. We've got ideas all the time. People talk to me about ideas all the time. Some are good ideas. A lot damn better than ball field lights. You know, actually do something to the towns and roads and stuff. But hey, we're gonna meet on ball field lights. I'm sick and tired of hearing ball field lights. I'm so sick and tired of how much money we got from dog pound. Dude, if you're counting on dog pound money to make you money on your to go down toward your deficit, you are that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you're counting on money from the dog pound or from the dog catcher to support your income, I can't understand the mentality there at all. So let me tell you what we're looking at, and where this actual mentality comes from. Okay, everybody says shit rolls downhill. All the church people, wow, he said shit, get my purse. Well, sorry about that. But here's where it all comes from, because our mayor, whenever he first took office, this quote, which was in Lufkin Times, he quoted and said, they asked him what he thought about after the election that he had won, and he said, well, I'd rather be camping and fishing. But you know what? Somebody had to do the job. Now, I don't know about you. I didn't get no enthusiasm out of that particular conversation. I didn't really feel like being all gung ho about Huntington, especially on election day. You want to, hey, we got a new group, we're going to do something different. Then we got our mayor. Well, I'd rather be fishing, camping. I guess I got to do it. Well, don't do it. Get somebody in there who wants to do it, knows how to do it. I mean, get me a mayor in there who knows how to run a meeting. Mr. Stewart wasn't in there. By God, we wouldn't have a meeting because we wouldn't know what the hell we're doing. Mr. Stewart tries to help the meeting move along, but he's just one person. He needs participation from all the members on parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order. Because the mayor has the chair. It's his meeting. And if he's going to open up something for discussion, it don't go, what? They don't want to discuss anything. So I had a great idea on here too. One of my ideas, and I do listen to everybody my ideas or whatever. It's like, you know what? Somebody told me that's a good idea. I think that after our next city hall meeting, we're going to have a date right here on Facebook, and we're going to go over the issues for some of the individuals that didn't get to go to the meeting for some reason or whatever. We can come back and we can sit down and we can have a conversation on what went over on the meetings, what was said, who said it. We'll have our own minutes, put it that way. And if our minutes do not actually match their meeting, well, if our agendas don't kind of go head and head, then we know we got another problem. The next problem is the fact is that you know what we do have a lot of people up here working in the city council. We have a lot of people working, in our elite type of a community that do have bad attitude, that look down on our people and saying, you don't know nothing. I'm such and such and such. I'm Joe Shit direct, man, and I know I got a position in the city hall. Okay. Well, then we run into the same dang factor with City Hall that we do with the VA. Okay, they're a city employee. So guess what? They can't just come out and fire. Okay. They gotta have proof of all this done, whatever. So they can't just come out and fire somebody like what Donald Trump does. What you gotta do is you gotta have a closed meeting with the attorney to discuss proper procedures that they need to follow to be able to maintain and keep their job, and it's on a time frame. I think it's like so many months or whatever to be able to be proficient in whatever job you're doing. So they have to give you a chance and have to give you the training to be able to do that. Now, if for some reason that person hasn't made that, then they got to make a determination if they fire them. Well, here in Huntington, people don't like to fire somebody from the city council. So what we do is we find them another place to work. Okay. Now, uh, I'm sorry, but in the real world, if you can't do your job proficiently, then you don't have another job. Or you get demoted down to another job, you can do that. However, every time that meeting goes into a closed meeting, that attorney better be right there. Matter of fact, per law, he's got to be in there on a closed door meeting. So why all these codes and all? Because it's proof to you, okay, that these laws are being broken in front of you, right in front of you. They're being done, and they're getting away with it. Now, I don't know, okay. I don't know if it's the city hall's fault, because the fact is that, you know what? Maybe they don't know no better, because the fact is this is the way it's always been done, in the past. Because you know how you start, you bend the rule here, you bend it a little further, and then when you break it, I broke that one, that's okay, but broke one. And, out of 35, we only broke one rule. Next thing you know, you get sitting in places like us. Now we're breaking, instead of 25, now we're breaking 15. It's like, bro, we got to tighten the ship up here. So these codes and everything that are putting out, and all the wording that are put out, that comes from the Texas and United States Constitution. We just didn't make that up. Please do not tell me that you believe that Huntington is not a part of any regulatory state or a country. What piece of paper gives you that right that says you do not have to follow laws that have been passed for everybody? I'd rather you roll up your sleeves and say, okay, you know what, here we go. Okay, you got this one. Here, I found something else. You know what, and swap ideas and say, okay, well, that one's legal. Okay, they can do that. They can do that, but they got to do this. Let's be educated about city council meetings. And let's be serious about, having an after party meeting. After the meeting's over with, let's all get on here and let's double check and, check our facts and check our notes and say, hey, did you notice this? Keep doing that long enough, guess what? We're gonna start going up there and asking City Hall. And then they're gonna tell us, and I'll tell you this right now, not your turn to talk. No, you're not. No, we're not recognizing you. They'll do that, whatever, because they're gonna try to use the Robert's Rules of Order, Parliamentary Procedure, all they can, because they think they know it all and you don't know nothing about it. So do some research, educate yourself on those parliamentary procedures. Know when you can't bring up a motion. Know when you can't bring up a motion. Know when you can talk, when you can't. Right now, when you go to a city council meeting, you just sit down and shut up. That's what they want you to do. Sit down and shut up, and we don't hear nothing from you. So, okay, y'all want to play that way? I'll play this way. I'll just put it on the damn video so God and everybody can see it, and people of Huntington actually get what the scoop is and what actually happens there. Anybody wants to know, I can actually get you that quote on a link from our mayor. He said it, and it's black and white. But there's some things that should have been in black and white that he said that hadn't been there. And so I even wrote a little note there because I was getting smoke blown up my butt by somebody saying we don't have no minutes of that day. Well, the minutes, yes, you do, but you don't publish the minutes. So let's get it right. Okay, what you produce out there is just a synopsis of how the meeting goes. It gives you no details. Okay. So you have no way of knowing 3 weeks ago did they vote on this and who voted yes and who voted no. You don't. You have to get the minutes, which are not provided to you. I know this because I requested them. I can refer back to the website who doesn't post me. I'm sorry. They do not report the minutes. They promote they do show the overview, but they don't tell you any details of how the meeting went or who actually got up and spoke in a motion or whatever, what this motion was, and when this motion was passed or tabled. So I want to challenge City Hall, and I want to challenge the individuals of Huntington, because I want you to know, based on my background, and if you roll your eyes at me, I'm going to tell you this right now, let me catch you doing it. Based on my military background, okay, one thing I know, if you're in this situation right now that our current law enforcement officers are, okay, they're scared, because they know they're not scared, but they have concerns, because the fact is, every time when I put on this badge and this gun, am I prepared for what is out there that I have to deal with in this evening? Am I prepared mentally? Am I prepared where I've got flak jacket? Do I got bullet resistance jackets? Do I have proper helmet on, or do I have any kind of what do I have to make sure that, you know what, we're not going, with Lufkin and Zavala, we're not going to be outmanned. Well, that's not the issue. We're going to be outgunned. Because the fact is, they got AK-47 shotguns and 45s and 9 millimeters, and guess what? We got that one on 9 millimeter. Yeah. Ask yourself, you want to go up against the 9 millimeter with a freaking AK-47 or AR-15? Draw me a picture and tell me I'm stupid. But I will guarantee you that it needs to be worked on, and it can be worked on by grants throughout the United States and throughout the state of Texas, to make sure, since this current threat is out there, there are more individuals who will give you a grant to update your security systems, your clothing, better flashlights, stun guns on the flashlights. You've got multiple things that people are willing to give away for a grant to make their city safer. We learned in Dallas, if you watch that video. Dallas police officers didn't, when they deployed, they did not know what the threat was, so they didn't have any kind of jacket on. Killed 5 of them son of guns. If they had been wearing jackets, guess what? How many of them would have survived? I'm not saying they wouldn't have got hurt, but how many would have survived? See, these are the what ifs we need to ask about, because I don't believe that you're going to tell an officer of our law, or those here are here to protect and serve. I don't think you're going to be able to tell them or get it through a very the good response from these officers when they know they are getting up and getting ready to go into a situation. And as the dispatch is describing that information that they're getting rolled up on, I don't think you're going to find an officer who will complain knowing that he's got the necessary weapons to actually confront this situation and still provide maximum safety for him. So this is just one topic, but there's other stuff that I've got to get to. Some of the comments that we made or whatever, I'm going to break them down like a shotgun on one at a time. But let me make this perfectly clear. Okay. If one of our officers, okay, from Huntington, our constables, the sheriff, anybody, actually, really, I'm worried about our constables that serve Huntington right here, because Lufkin, they're a bunch of assholes, and then Zavala, I had nothing to do with them. But them Lufkin guys, they figure they can come down here to Huntington, beat us up, beat us low paying white trash people down there. They can play us a visit, get us on, divvied up till we get a ticket. So I don't have too much trust in them. But I will promise the city council today that if for some reason, as of today, and it is the 9th, if as of today, if there is an officer that in his regular duties and is actually doing his job on patrol in our area, and he is injured in any shape, form, or fashion by him not having the proper gear, his proper safety gear, or proper training with that weapon to be able to do his job. Because I guarantee you, when there's an officer out there and he's actually dealing with that situation, he's hoping and he's praying. He's hoping, he's praying. He says, "Oh, I'm doing the best I can." No, he's not telling him, says, "I need to do better. You know, I wish I had the true tools and training to train me for this situation." People say that I got it out for the police department. That's not necessary at all, because the fact is, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get a city council to understand that you need to get the hands off of the police station or the police and the chief, and you need to let him make an inventory of what he's got, what he needs, and let's go work about getting it. I'm not saying we get these weapons all at one time. Get an AR-15, get a shotgun, roll around in one unit with it, have it there. When they get called out, start with one. Shotgun. Start with put it in for another grant, get two. Next thing you know, we got all our. Next thing we know, we got all our ducks in a row, and we got individuals who are rolling through the streets that can actually take on any threat, or have the tools to take on that threat. That's protecting and serving our officers. It's doing what we can to ensure their safety. Yeah, Paco and a few of them, they're gonna be all pissed off at me because it's time, but it ain't nothing they don't know. It's time to get down, be able to run from here to there, be proficient with your weapon, and it's time to get down to being a law officer again, because the fact is, are a law officer that's ready for any threat that may come through here. Now, many say, nothing happens in here in Huntington. Nothing happens here in Huntington. Well, I tell you this right now. Please try to tell Officer Wade, who went up there in a standoff and got his butt shot at, because the fact is that guy outgunned him. But just through horse sense, he figured out how he was going to do it, and he did it. And you know what? He didn't. He ought to get a certificate from the city. Going above. That won't happen. No, can't afford it. So if you've got to read me your resume on how much you mean to this town, how much you've done, all this, blah, 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 and seeking attention to how much you've done and whatever, well, you know what? That's part of the problem right there. I mean, you should be able to do something for a church, or do something, okay, in Huntington, and not have to tell anybody about it. Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody else is watching. So today, I mentioned some facts about it. Is I don't think that the city of Huntington, by utilizing all these codes and all of these things there, it's necessary per law. I don't necessarily think that it is a bad deal. I think that our city council, I believe that our law enforcement, and I believe our fire department will all work together as one unit and work better. But we got to start making, and that's just an infrastructure thing. We have to make our police force number one or number two. And I understand people say, well, they got a lot of money in there, but they get a lot of money. Okay, they get a lot of money, but you know what? Let's make them choose. Let's make them utilize it wisely on proper gear that they need to make themselves safe. So put yourself in this position, you people that are asking, okay, that are saying, well, it's just, we're just doing the best we can, and we can't do too much. They're doing the best we can what they got. They're doing the best they can or whatever. I want you to do me a favor. Okay, remember you said that. So what I want you to do is remember, whenever a law officer gets hurt one evening while he's doing a pullover from somebody coming from Houston, and you don't know who he is, and he pulls out a weapon and he uses that weapon on that officer. I want you to be the one to go down there and tell his loved ones and say, you know what? We're sorry, but we didn't have the money. We could have saved his life. That flak jacket would have saved his life, but we didn't have the money. So, not having the money, yeah. What's that equal? You know what I'm gonna say? Just getting by. Doing things the same old way every time. And you guys, I hope you understand this, but textbook definition is if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, that's insanity. There is no way that our police officers should have to deal with the amount of threat that they have to right now because the situation has changed. The situation is in a new era of terrorism. It's in a new era of cops being targeted. It's in a new area and a new area of law enforcement. We need to be ready for that. And doing the best we can. I'm sorry, I don't think. Okay, and I know all the officers up there. Okay, strive not just to do the best they can. They strive to do the best job. They're trying to be better than the best they can, and they do this. And you are part of the problem if you do not help encourage them, okay, and help them raise the funds they need for their protective gear. You're just as much as fault. Just as much fault as that guy pulled the trigger. But you use an excuse when you ain't got no money. We're waiting on a grant. Or Whataburger's coming into town. But I will hold every individual who even makes a comment about downgrading the police and their protective equipment. Every person that I run into, if you do not want to participate in making our police force a better and a well-trained professional force, keep it as it is. It's your call. But I tell you this right now, one of these officers get hurt on the highway, I'll be one of the first ones to get out there. And I won't go out there just to looky-loo, and I won't go out there with a camera. I'll go out there with a bug-out bag to where I got tourniquets and shit and save these guys' lives instead of sitting back over here on the dead burn highway over there looking at it. Because you know what? I don't think that's acceptable. I don't think being mediocre or just doing the best you can is good enough for this town. We got to be able to do it bigger, better, and faster than the rest of it. Bigger, better, faster than the average bear. And in doing so, we're going to naturally make the progression to where we're going to actually prepare our law enforcement, our city council, all these individuals will fall into place for being able to handle correctly the growth that was getting ready to come to Huntington. But we got to be proactive. We can't just wait till it happens and then all hell breaks loose. You know, we didn't plan for that. No, we need to start planning for it now. And we need to start planning for it because the first thing is I got is just the protection of our police officers first because they are going to be on the front lines. I will be the first one out there if they load up something. Now I got a problem with the chief because he passed around a boot, and you got to have wanted money from a certain amount of people or whatever, to help him in the police endeavors, give him tips and stuff like that. But hell, he only invited a few people. Wonder why? Wonder why? They're elites, man. They get their name on a trophy. They get to be headed. I was a pissant police officer there for a while. They let me carry a gun with one bullet. That was all bullshit. That was just for showing games because the people he handed out all this crap to, I tell you this right now, they ain't gonna do a damn thing. They're gonna be running away from the incident. Guys like us, we run toward it, but they're gonna be running back, stepping on little girls and everything, trying to get the hell out of the way. So there's work to be done, and I refuse to allow us just to get by. I don't like the fact that we don't want to look up the codes that make our constitutions great. We don't want to look up the law, and we don't want to look up because why? Well, city council says it's a law and they're doing it right. Well, I don't. I'm the kind of person. I guess I ask why. I ask, well, why? Because why? You You've always done it that way. Who said so? Well, they said so. Well, go find they. Bring them over there. Pretty soon you do that long enough, then it gets down to the nut cutting. It's like, I don't know where the hell we come up from that. I'm like, well, no shit. But my stance right now is on safety. I'm going to deal with the city council and everything every time they have a city council meeting, and I'm going to be there and I'm going to report to you exactly what I see in the meeting. And guess what? If you don't believe me, try to get the minutes from city council. And if you don't believe me then, if they went in the closed door meeting, you do have the right to get those minutes. But the fact is, you got to get a judge to sign off on it. Trust me. Our judge here she won't even initiate an investigation on blatant laws that I've shown that Huntington is broke. So let's go next step, man. Rome wasn't built today. But for those of you that think that, well, we can just stand by and we're not going to do nothing, just let it run its course out. You the type of people going to wait till it's having a good time, sell your property out, and then get the hell out of here? 80%, okay, of our dwellings are manufactured homes. 20% are single family homes. 25% of both of those numbers combined, they are vacant. People don't live here no more because the fact is they come down here and they lease out their home because they don't want to live in Huntington because you know what? They're just leasing in Huntington. They can't get their money out of their home now because the market's tanked. They can't get any kind of relief at all from the city on redistricting, or they can't get any kind of help with inflation or anything of that nature. One of the worst things that has happened to Huntington is that whenever they let Boots shut down, and I'll tell you this right now, y'all may like it or not, but anyway, Boots was a landmark, and you try to keep those. Why would you? Because you can get anywhere from Boots. You can tell anybody. Well, you're going up to Boots there and you make a left. Yeah, right over about Boots over, and you make a left. Working up, I got to find a person there. Go right over to Boots. Friendly people, the whole 9 yards. Help you make a sale. He would help deliver too. He helped me and my wife deliver some stuff in here. So some of these places that are going out of business is pretty much staples to our town and our economy. But yeah, it is our job. Okay. It's our job to make sure that the city council is doing their job. And yes, it is to hold them accountable for the decisions that they make. I'm sorry they ran. They wanted to do it. By God, let's do the work. It's not some kind of utopia where you get to be mayor and you just get to sit up there in a chair and just pick and choose what you want to do. You got to go to work. The whole city of Huntington's waiting for you guys to go to work and get something done. Or at least start it to where we can actually get in behind you and say, okay, we're going to do this. All right, we're going to do this. And there are many people that would actually help you in the endeavor on your cost. I mean, people got to hear you haul dirt in. But how many people we can actually, do some cement work, Bonds? I can just hear y'all say it's how much it's going to cost, how much what it's going to cost. Well, let me ask you how much it's going to cost. Y'all took a bid. Y'all just didn't even take any bids. What y'all did was that y'all went and sat down there and came up with a bid for the maintenance of the city. Didn't even give nobody else a chance to bid on it. Just said, well, we'll just go with them. Didn't even check to see if the other people could save money. I'm not saying I'm not saying the quality of work. They are accountable for the quality of work too. But can we get it done cheaper? That's what runs it. It runs the town. So you'll get it for you cheaper over there. And next thing you know, you got a little price war going on over here. Competition. So, in closing this up today, all the doubters or whatever, uh, tell me to leave it alone and shit like that. Well, you know what? I apologize because the fact is, you know what? Um, I don't just do the best I can. I like to make it a lot more difficult than that. I do the best I can, and then when I do the best I can, I go back in and do it over again because the fact is I remember something the first time. So for y'all of you that think that this is going to stir up a ruckus or why am I giving them a hard time or whatever, well, to be honest with you, to make them do their job, and in some places make them realize that that's their job. They know it's on the book, but they don't know. They may not know when to implement it. The nuts and bolts of some of the stuff. Because it's a lot to remember. When you're running a town. Parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to follow unless you get into it. You read about it. You got to read. Even though you're on city council, you still got to do your homework. You still got to read up on stuff. And you still got to read up on the laws to make sure that you're adhering to them. Because, like I said, if you are not adhering to the word or the law, you're going to be held accountable. And I'm almost damn sure positive that y'all are going to be held individually accountable. Like that thing, what did you know? When did you know it? And all that kind of crap. And when that shit starts happening, you know what happens? Yeah, I think I made a little video with that word. So, yeah, there are a lot of individuals, that's not besides you, that want to see the town get better. There's a lot of people that have a lot of complaints and have a lot of issues they'd like to get worked out. And there's a lot of folks here that would like to come together with the city council and talk about these issues and see if we can get on the same page and work with each other instead of working against it. But see, our major issues we have right now is the fact is that our city council and individuals who are in charge because somebody questions them, okay, or questions something, they don't want to give you the answer or they don't want to go into it. So that's what I was asking, on the park. I read a little article there about Mr. Stewart. He came out and said, restrictions on trailer houses and everything, and got to get a permit. Okay, I guess they decided that without his behind her back. And then the thing that comes up again is about the city park. They're going to make improvements to the city park, and we're going to make the whistle stop. Same thing they said. If they didn't like, they say the same thing they want to do in the meeting I went to. But see, the fact is that the lady from the EDC, she said it the bad. She goes, "We need parking. You know, we need parking. We need legal parking. You know, and we can't rely on the First Baptist Church to provide that parking." we can't rely on other entities of the city to provide parking for us because it's a city function. Okay, and in a city function, if we were going to utilize that particular type of venue for parking, they by law are to be compensated. Doesn't really say how much y'all get together and figure out, but they need to be compensated. Why does he say that is? Well, because the fact is there's a little rule called church and state, which means that um, mere appearance of First Baptist Church allowing the city to utilize that parking lot would seem or have to leave the impression to the other churches is that um, the city favored First Baptist Church. And then y'all know how that goes. Then all the freaking gospel shit starts, and then here we go. Okay. So we can't really get into that kind of a deal with the church and state. Just like the fact is putting up mangers and these things or whatever. We sometimes you get a hard time doing it. You got one group, no, they can't put up a manger, and whatever. And it's their church, but you can't do it because some raghead over there said you can't do it. It hurts their feelings. They need to go to their safe space or some shit like that. I don't know. So it's very easy to fall into that trap. Um, the next thing is that I understand, and kudos off to our officers who volunteer on special events or whatever. Now, one of the codes, okay, if you look it up, will tell you that if a officer gets up in the morning and he deems his suit, he's got his suit on, he's got his badge, and he has his weapon, then at that point in time, he is actually on full duty and he will get paid. Now, if the officer decides, well, I'll do augmentation, and guess what? I'll be a part of the crowd. I'll help with the parking, things of this nature. But he's still present now, so he's off duty. But he's still a cop, but he's off duty. So, but he's off duty. He does. That's his volunteer. He does not have to get paid. Now we got a good old bunch of good old boys that work, work as constables and the chiefs. They do. However, the fact is that I think in some occasions, and what I see is that the chief is put into a situation where he's damned if he does and damned if he don't. I think the chief has been banging his head up against city wall for so long and getting told no. He's browbeaten too, you know. So I would like to help him in that endeavor and getting training for his troops or his officers. I would like to help him uh, go over some situations and actually get their mind ready to what they're looking on and having them trained together, because that's one of the major things that is important too. Officers and them being able to work together. In other words, know each other's moves before you know it. Is that overkill? I don't know, but I know one thing: I'd rather be too much trained than not enough trained. You know, that keeps you from doing stupid shit. Uh, and later on. Now, for those that feel that I should leave well enough alone and that I should not, that I should just settle for the way things are, and that change, change is none of my business because I wasn't born and raised here or whatever, and nobody wants me to, rile up the ducks or nothing like that. Well, I'm sorry. But this tree needs to be shaken up a little bit, good, bad, and different, the whole 9 yards. Starts at the bottom, you know, but it kind of starts at the bottom and it goes all the way downhill. But the good starts coming, the cream starts coming to the top when we start implementing and doing things the right way. Then we're going to be able to see a change in our entire city, in our entire police force, in our entire city. because pretty soon you're gonna get people. Hey, can I help you? Hey, can I help you, Sheriff? No, hey, can I help you? You know, what do you need? You know, what do y'all need? Because y'all know me around here. If y'all tell us what you need something, y'all may not want to know where it comes from, but I'm just telling you, you need something. That's what you need. Um, and it's time to where we have that conversation of, you know what, this is a debate. It's not, this is not Sunday evening prayer meeting to where everybody wears their heart on their sleeve and stuff. I mean, we're down to a point now where people's lives could be in danger, and we would have limited resources to deal with that danger, and that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable whatsoever. What should be is the individuals who live in this town, got kids, got grandkids, the whole 9 yards. They should be able to walk up there, put their children on a bus, and let them go to school and come back home. And worst thing ever happened to me because he pulled Miss Mary Jane's hair and he's picking on her because he likes her. That's the worst thing that happened here today. But it's not going to stay that way. And I know for a fact if you're being retroactive, like you keep waiting for stuff to happen, and then you don't have no time to train. You're just going off of what they do. So that's the way I look at it for our police force and also our city council. They need to be put in check too. Like, what, just because you're on city council does not mean that you can treat the rest of us okay, like we're second class citizens. And if that continues on, then you know what? Pretty soon we're gonna get tired of it. And hell, I don't know what will happen, but I just know people get tired of talking down to and talking, you know, getting smoke blown up their ass, you know. So, but to the haters, hate me. Well, that's cool. I don't mind, man. I got thick skin. But I'll guarantee you one thing: if you're having to produce me a resume on what you do and what you have done, and uh, who you are in the community, and then tell other people what they can and can't do, and that you're not going to let change, then I think maybe you got a problem there. You need to work on a little conscience getting to you, I believe. But one day we're gonna see some people out there helping. We're gonna see people picking up trash on the side of the road. We're gonna make a big party out of it, and we're just gonna go ahead and clean up stuff and whatever. And with that being said, we're gonna get a group of people that don't mind doing it and ain't gonna bitch while they do it. So if you fit that mold, might as well stay at home that day. So some of the things we're gonna get done around here, they may not be fine, but we're gonna get them done where we can make Huntington a more attractive place for businesses to move in here. And the ones that ain't producing our income, whatever, we're gonna have to do that tactfully, I know, but we're gonna say, man, you gotta open up, at least once a week, you know. If nothing else, it could be a fire hazard because you don't know. You never know what's in there, So I wonder if they've even been in there to get a fire permit. There's a lot of things you can probably go in there and find. And I ain't trying to kick the bull out. I'm just telling you, sir, you're going to have somebody else come in here and monitor all these things. Why? Because it's a city requirement. Okay, and I'm sorry, we're at that stage where we're going to make it better. Okay. So this Steve made this video, and I'm gonna get out of here. Too long anyway, but hey, uh, hit me back, yell up, scream at me. I'm used to it. Bye.